Welcome students to the second lecture of valuation from your contracts and accounts curriculum. So today in last video we already discussed about what is value, cost, price, the characteristics of value, roles of valuer, and the types of values, etc. Also we discuss about depreciation. So depreciation is the loss of value of property caused by its use, like use life, wear and tear, and decay is called as depreciation. So today we will discuss about the methods of calculating the depreciation. There are four methods of calculation of depreciation. First one is straight line method, constant percentage method, sinking fund method, and quantity survey method. We discuss one by one the methods of calculation of the depreciation. So straight line method, in this method the cost of an asset or property less its salvage value is distributed or written off at uniform rate for its complete service life. So though the method is the simple one, it calls for realistic evaluation of salvage value and corrects the computation for the service life of the property. So this straight line method, it is considered the property loses its value by a same amount every year. So the fixed amount of the original cost is deducted every year, so that it at the end of the utility period or life period of the property, only the scrap value is left. So annual depreciation is equal to original cost of property minus salvage value or scrap value divided by life in life of property in years. So it is straight line. So it is very simple method, but it has realistic evaluation. Okay. Next method is constant percentage method, or sometimes it is called as equal percentage method. In this method, the percentage rate for depreciation remains constant uh, throughout the life, whereas the base or the capital sum goes on reducing every year by an amount equal to the depreciation for that particular year, and is known as the written down value method. This method is also known as written down value method because the amount reduces every year. Okay. uh, so it is quite different from first method, that is straight line method, where the quantum of depreciation is constant for all years, whereas the in quantum of depreciation will go on reducing with the reduction in the base value of the property. So this depreciation is calculated in the following formula, that is annual depreciation P is equal to 1 minus S upon C raised to 1 upon N. S is nothing but scrap value of the property, C is original cost, and N is life of the property in years. Okay, so this is called as a constant percentage method or declining balance method, because every year the base value is declining but the rate is remains constant. Due to declination in base value, the depreciated value is also decline or reduces. Okay. So next method is sinking fund method. The sinking fund method is nothing but in this method we kept aside some value required to replace the property. Okay. So the in the sinking fund is nothing but the amount set aside every year and invested at compound interest, so that after a specified period one can get predetermined value of asset less salvage value. The sinking fund amount goes on accumulation at compound interest and is meant to meet the future liabilities of replacement of property or replacement of asset. So its component can be divided into two parts. One part is representing the annual deposits of depreciation, and the other part is the interest on the depreciation reserve. Okay, so the amount which has to be kept aside at a fixed interval of the time. Okay, after the completion of life of property, we accumulate some fund or some amount to reconstruct the property or to replace that asset. Okay, so sinking fund is calculated by the following formula: I is equal to S into I, small I, upon 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. So S is nothing but the amount of sinking fund. I, small I, is rate of interest in decimal. N is number of years required to create the sinking fund, and capital I is nothing but annual installment required to fulfill the replacement cost of the property. Okay, so sinking fund, this is sinking fund method. Next method is quantity survey method, or sometimes it is called as a building demolition value of old buildings. Okay, uh, this is one of the most useful and widely used method in which the property is studied in detail and loss in values owing to the physical deterioration is worked out. So in case of a building, because buildings, unlike other perishable commodities, obeys a law of decay also, which already we discussed in last video. Okay, with the with the passage of time, the value goes on decreasing till the stage is reached when its value should be zero theoretically, but practically it has got some value in the materials of the old buildings which can be obtained on sale. So the old building materials, when sold to a demolition contractor for raising or including removal and clearing the site up to the ground level, will fetch some value which is known as scrap value or residual value or breakup value or demolition value. So the breakup value of the building can be worked out on the two bases, namely cubic content method or super built up area basis. Okay, in these methods, the cubic content basis, about 10% of the cost the building is usually adopted as the breakup value of the uh, building, depending upon the number of considerations. Huh? So the method of working out of the breakup value of the building on the super built up area basis is usually adopted by the demolition contractors. In this case, the total super built up area at the ceiling level of all the floors are added, including the areas of roof or terrace level, and the same is multiplied by the rate per square meter to obtain the breakup value of the building. So the breakup value of the building depends upon the factors, that is the type of structure, whether the structure is timber framed, RCC or load bearing, types of walls, etc. or condition, size and quantity of the materials, that is woodwork, brickwork, steelwork, etc. The floor pavement finishing like mosaic tiles, marbles, glazed tiles, etc. The types of fixtures, fittings, accessories, etc. So quantity, quality, and condition of all the items or all the materials of which they are made up of, whether wood, steel, aluminum, or any other type of material. The value is depends on the condition of the material used for the building. Okay, so this is quantity survey method. Next one is capitalized value. It is defined as the capital amount required to be paid to receive a periodic payment in the form of net return in the property for an indefinite period or for a specified period. The capital invested in property will give a net return in the form of interest, whereas if the invested in properties, the same uh, will be in the form of rent. Okay, so capitalized value is equal to net return into years purchase. Okay, it can be said that in selecting proper rate for the purpose of capitalization, the valuer cannot close his eyes to the current competition in the general investment market, where there is a continuous process going on to attract the capital by the conferring additional benefits which are not available to the rent control properties. Thus, to decide the rate of the capitalization, one has to keep before him to broad perspective of the return available in general investments. Okay, which also includes returns available on other properties or on government securities also. So to find the capitalized value, we need data, that is the net income from the property after deducting all the outgoings from the gross income is required to compute the capitalized value. So net income is equal to gross income minus outgoings. Okay, the highest prevailing rate of interest for investment in such type of property is also required to calculate the um, capitalized value. Okay, so the capitalized value is depends on the ease of liquidity of the asset, divisibility of holding, presence of rent review clause, ease of management and transfer, likelihood of capital gains, use of property for commercial or residential purpose, security of capital, and presence of legal hazards, or sometimes situation and frontage of the property, conforming zone and users, effect of development plan, tenure of land, age and condition of the built up area or building, mode of letting out the building, and continuity of rent and problems of litigation. The future increments in the outgoings are non-recoverable from the uh, tenants by law, or government's restriction and effect of the restrictive legislations are also affect on the capitalized value. So these are the factors on which the capitalized value is depend. So gross income, what is gross income? The total income which includes all receipts from the various sources of income is called as gross income. Net income is nothing but the amount left after deducting all the outgoings from gross income is called as net income. So net income is equal to gross income minus outgoings. So outgoings are the expenditures or expenses which are to be incurred in condition with the property to maintain the revenue from it in terms of outgoings. So outgoings are generally 30% of the gross income. Okay. So year's purchase. The year's purchase is the figure which is multiplied by the net income gives the capitalized value of the property on the date of valuation is called as year's purchase or YP. So capitalized value is equal to net income into year's purchase. Or year purchase may be defined as the capitalized value required to be paid once for all in order to receive a net annual income of rupees 1 for an indefinite period in okay, or for an fixed number of years at the certain rate of interest. Okay. So suppose a person investing rupees 100 in a fixed deposit of bank where the rate of interest allowed is 5%. As such he receives a net income of rupees 5 per annum on the invested amount, so of rupees 100. Okay, now if the said individual wants an annuity of rupees 1, then what capital amount should he invest by the rule of 3? So annuity is 5. uh, he requires capitalized value to be invested 100. If annuity is 1, so the 100 into 1 divided by 5 is 20 years purchase. So 20 is years purchase. Okay. So for 5 rupees annuity uh, and 1 rupees per year, so capitalized value of 100, for 100 rupees he has to invest 20 years. So 20 is years purchase. The years purchase can be obtained by dividing 100 by the rate of interest for the indefinite period, that is in perpetuity. Okay. So if rate of interest is 4%, so 100 divided by 4, 25 is years purchase. If rate of interest is 5%, 100 divided by 5, 10 is equal to 20 is nothing but years purchase. If rate of interest is 6%, then 100 divided by 6 is equal to 16.33 is nothing but the years purchase. So capitalized value is equal to net return into years purchase. The years purchase for a short period is less as compared to that of the perpetuity of, so that investment for short period is less. So moreover, the income from it must be sufficient to allow interest on capital as well as for sinking fund, so that the capital is recovered within the short duration. Okay. So years purchase is a figure depends upon the rate of interest available in general investment market, age and condition of the building, mode of letting and conforming zone and potential of users. Okay. The situation and frontage or governments and local authority rules and regulations affecting the development of property, whether the property is fully or partly developed, or continuity of rent. These are the factors on which the rate of interest years purchase is depends, or years purchase is affected by these factors. outgoings. Outgoings are the expenditures or expenses which are to be incurred in connection with the property to maintain the revenue from it is termed as outgoing. Now outgoings are generally 30% of the gross income. So there are six types of outgoings. First is municipal taxes, the taxes which are paid to the local authority for services like water supply, sanitation, etc. Such taxes are calculated at certain percentage of rentable value of the property. Okay. Then government taxes, the taxes which are paid to the government, land taxes, education taxes are to be paid to the government authority. Then annual repair and maintenance. The amount spent on the repair and maintenance depends upon the age of building, condition of building, use of the building, climatic conditions or weathering of effects on which the building is subjected to, number of tenants occupying the building. Normally 1 to 1.5% of the total cost of construction is considered for annual repair and maintenance. And insurance in the is the premium paid by the owner of the property. It depends upon the sum assured. Then management and collection fees. So management and collection are the charges which consist of the expenses on watchman, liftman, sweeper, rent collector, etc. So these charges are generally taken 5 to 10% of the gross rent. Then sinking fund, already we discussed about the sinking fund. It is a fund created by regular period payments which accumulates at the compound interest is a sinking fund. The amount of sinking fund is used as the end of utility period of the structure to reconstruct or to replace the property. Okay, so these are the types of outgoings. So thank you. For in next video we will discuss about numericals of the valuation, how to calculate the